Straight into it. In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace a watch battery in multiple different types of watches. So hopefully you have one of these types and it helps you out. The first watch is the push-on case one. On the back, if it is a push-on case, you'll see on the side of the case there'll be one small slot that if you use a sharp object like a knife, you can pop the back off quite easily. Just be careful not to scratch the watch or the case itself. Once inside, the battery is generally either held by a removable screw like in this case, and if so, just use a small screwdriver to get it out, or possibly even a knife. Once you got the battery out, read what is on the battery either prominently in the middle or along the top. In most cases, it will be a bunch of letters and numbers. That is the watch model. Once you got that, either order it online or go to a store and buy the same battery. I take in my battery into the store just to double check it is the same size as well as the numbers. Once you get the battery, take it out and replace it in, making sure it's the right way up and pushed in. In this case, I need to put back in the little tab with the screw that holds down the battery firmly so it has good contact and works. Screw that tab down to hold it back in. Having a small screwdriver set is generally handy for a lot of things, but in this case, especially for doing this watch. Now when placing back the case, there's always a little slot, as you can see there on the back of the case, that goes through the pin of the watch. Make sure that's lined up, otherwise the case won't push back in well. This is watch type 2. Again, another battery operated quartz watch. But in this case, instead of a push-on case, it has 4 small screws in each corner. You'll have to get a small screwdriver, in this case a Phillips, to remove these screws. Then use a sharp thing like a knife to pop the case off. Be cautious with these watches, especially if they're water resistant or waterproof. They all have a rubber seal around these case edges to make sure the water doesn't come in. For this battery, you don't need to remove any screws, just pull across the tab and take out the battery. Again, read the battery model and get the correlating one in the store or order it online. Push that tab across, make sure there's good contact and the battery's the right way around. Check your rubber seals in the right spot. And put your case back on. Use your screwdriver and screw in your 4 screws nice and hand tight. This is watch type number 3. This has got the screw-on case back. As you can see, there's those little indentations around the edge, which is for a watch tool to take off the case. I have got one of these tools on me, but as I show you in the next example, you don't need one of these tools to take it off if you're cautious. So this tool got little lugs on it that are adjustable that you wind in each one individually into the little slots on the back. So they all locate into a hole. Then you push down and twist. Once it's loose, once you got that initial twist, generally you don't have to use the tool anymore. You can use your hands to get it free for the rest of it, just like this. Having the watch sometimes settled in a little special holster instead of using your hands makes it easier to open up, but for this case, what we're trying to do is basic tools as possible. So you have your battery in this one. This one you don't have any screw to take out or tab to push across. It just slots in under a groove. So I'm just using tweezers on this one because it was the easiest way to pop it out, but a small knife or a toothpick or something will do the trick. Pop it back in once you got that same battery like on the other ones. Use the tool to tighten back up the case. This is watch example number 4. To start with, I'll use this watch tool again to open and crack open the case, and then unscrew the back of the case. Now this one is a little bit of a trick. If it's got this winding motion in the back, and generally on the front it says automatic, that means it is an automatic watch, therefore it doesn't need a battery. It uses the motion of that little flywheel at the back to keep a charge. Again, make sure the rubber seals on these waterproof watches are always back in the right spot, otherwise it won't seal and it will get moisture inside. Use a tool to tighten it back up. Now if you don't have that tool, as I said before, you can use a pair of pliers, but I wouldn't recommend it if it's an expensive watch for sure, because you may slip and it could scratch the back of the watch. If this is the case, you don't have the tool or pliers, or you're not confident, take it to a jeweler. They could pop it off for you.